Welcome to Lesson 3, Interpreting Financial Aid Award Letters. Now you might be in the process of college in which you've received multiple acceptance letters from a few different colleges, and now you've received financial aid award letters showing you what aid you're going to get from the school. Now you would think that looking at these financial aid award letters and comparing them to each other would be an easy process, but there's some things that make it not so easy. And so I want to educate you on how colleges produce financial aid award letters so you know exactly what you're looking at and making sure that you're making apples to apples comparisons between all the different schools and not apples to bananas. So there's two things that colleges have to decide when they make a financial aid award letter. They need to determine what costs they're going to include in the financial aid award letter, and they need to decide what aid they're going to show. And so let me explain first about what costs they're going to show. So they have kind of two main decisions to make. Do they show direct costs, or do they show direct costs and indirect costs? So direct costs is everything that the school is going to bill you. That will be like tuition, fees, room and board when you're living on campus. While the indirect costs, they might show what books are likely to cost and your transportation expenses and all those kind of things. And so when you're looking at a financial aid award letter, you need to determine when you're looking at two, are they both showing just direct costs, or is one showing direct costs and the other one showing direct and indirect costs? So you might need to make some adjustments to that just to make sure that you're comparing them well. Now the next thing they're going to do is they're going to determine what financial aid to show on it. And you may be thinking, well, why wouldn't they show all of it? And here's why. When you get a financial aid award letter, it's going to show institutional scholarships. It will show federal and state aid, like the gift aid we talked about. That might be the Pell Grant or a state grant. And then they're likely going to show your federal direct loans, whether you get subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. When we think about all those different categories, I'm good with all of those showing up on a financial aid award letter. What makes it trickier is that sometimes they will put Parent Plus loans on a financial aid award letter. So think about that. If you weren't planning on using Parent Plus loans and maybe you just didn't catch it, or maybe you didn't know what it was until you watched this course, you might think that that college is very affordable. However, by borrowing Parent Plus loans, you are very likely borrowing above your loan limit that we've decided on. The other thing is remember that if you need Parent Plus loans in year 1, you're probably going to need them in year 2, year 3, and year 4, and typically that is not sustainable. Another thing that might show up on your award letter is federal work study, and that's good, and I'm okay with that, but if you already have a job that you're planning to pursue, then you probably aren't going to take advantage of federal work study because you can't be at 2 jobs at the same time. Also, with federal work study being on your award letter, it's not a guarantee that you'll get a job that gives you those federal work study funds. So you need to take that all into consideration. So here are some things I want you to do as you look at your financial aid award letters. 1, make sure that the costs are comparable. So if it's all looking at direct costs, great. Or make sure you're looking at always direct costs and indirect costs. The other thing you want to do is make sure you pay attention to what aid is there. And if there's aid that you weren't going to use, then minus it off of the financial aid award letter. And then what you can do is look at the cost and the aid that you plan on using, and then look at a comparison of net costs and see which college is the most affordable for you. The other thing that I want to mention is that when it comes to student loans, remember, although you're allowed to borrow up to $5,500 as a freshman currently, you may have already made it in your financial plan based on your design that you should only borrow $3,500 in your first year. That means if they awarded you $5,500 in your award letter, you need to minus $2,000 of aid out of there because you weren't planning on using that in the first place. So hopefully that information will help you compare financial aid award letters well so that we can do the next thing. And that is put the whole thing together, asking a great question about college and affordability. So click on the next video to learn about the most important question you can ask when it comes to figuring out college costs.